Welcome back to another edition of Unconformed. So we have a Carabao Cup review, Liverpool versus Fulham. Great game. I got to see the whole thing, which is really nice. And it's a good first leg for Liverpool. I think it's a good first leg for Fulham as well. In my personal opinion, I think if you are Fulham, you're taking that. You're taking that result. You're taking a goal at Anfield, right? And you get to go back to Craven Cottage in the second leg and you get to fight for it, right? So I think also if you're Liverpool, you're taking that result as well, going 1-0 down, coming back, fighting back, getting 2 goals and getting the result. So I think it's still pretty even for this tie. Could Fulham pull this out and get to the final? I actually do think that they can. Will they? I don't think so. I think Liverpool is in a position I would want to say like a vein of form, really, where they just refuse to be beaten, right? It's hard for this team to lose right now. And I know back in the day, not back in the day, just a handful of years ago, they used to be called the mentality monsters. And now, you really want to call them inevitable, right? If you take away that whole Tottenham game with the disallowed goals and the questionable red cards and things like that, Liverpool haven't lost in like almost a year, right? To anybody. And they've played everyone, right? And I think you can't discount that at all, that the record and the run that they're on right now is really impressive. And it's matching that season where they won it all, the Champions League, the Premier League, all of that. I think they're actually doing it a little bit better this year, but it's looking uglier. And when I was watching the game and I saw them go 1-0 down, I was just like, Liverpool look bad until they don't, right? Liverpool look really bad all the way up until the moment that they don't look really bad. Like you think, okay, they're probably they look like they're going to lose this game. They can't string passes together. It doesn't look good. And then all of a sudden somebody pops up with a goal. And then you just know what's going to happen next. The inevitable happens next. Gakpo, Jota, or Mo Salah, who wasn't playing in this game, pops up with a goal, or Diaz pops up with a goal, and they win the game 2-1, 3-1. 3-1 is like their favorite score line this year. But you have to say something special is happening in this Liverpool side. Could they be going on another run for that quadruple? Maybe. I think they're favorites to win this Carabao Cup. I think they're favorites to win the Europa League. That's 2 trophies that they should be winning with the team that they have. Premier League is going really well. This could be a really special season for them. And that's the hallmark of a champion. And I say that all the time. Can you win ugly? Can you win games that don't seem like you are about to win them and then you just win them anyway, right? I think that is a very, very, very good sign that Liverpool is on the right track with whatever they're doing. Curtis Jones is coming into his own. I know he got a deflection, but it looked amazing. It looked like it was heading towards goal anyway. The deflection definitely helped. Darwin Núñez is doing his thing. In my personal opinion, he's been one of Liverpool's best players this season. Yes, he's missed a lot of chances, but Erling Haaland actually has missed more and has played less games. So let's keep that in mind. Secondly, he's on 18 goals and assists this season, right? So for me, I think all the talk about Darwin being no good for us, it has to stop. It has to stop. It has to. He has 10 assists. He has 8 goals. I don't know what more you really want from a guy like that. I mean, he's probably going to end the season on 26 goals and assists, maybe close to 30 goals and assists. I think you'd want that out of a new signing, right? And at the end of the day, he makes our team better. Anytime that he comes on, something happens. Whether he's tracking back, whether he's getting a goal, whether he's getting an assist, he makes something happen in the team. And I think as a manager, you want a player like that versus a player like per se Mbappe, where yes, Mbappe will get you a goal a game, but he doesn't do the dirty work. He doesn't track. I mean, I've seen Darwin come all the way back to where Alisson is, do a sliding tackle, get the ball, and then race right back up the field to get into the action on the other end. I've never seen Mbappe do that. Right? As a manager, and you want to create a complete cohesive squad where there's people who are willing to play your brand of football, like what Klopp, that's like a non-negotiable for Klopp, right? Like if you want to be in his side, you have to press, like, or you're not going to get in the side. It doesn't matter who you are. and Darwin does that, right? So he was really great, made a huge impact coming on. Conor Bradley, this kid is so good. He has so much potential. Hopefully he's not one of those like shooting stars that happen a lot in Liverpool where they have a string of really good games and they kind of burn out and we never see him again. I really hope Klopp does give him some time to get a run in on the squad. Obviously, it's very obvious that he's good defensively, but I was really impressed by his play going forward. His play going forward was the thing that impressed me the most. I thought he wasn't very good going forward, but then towards the end of the game, he was nutmegging people, putting crosses in, pressing people high up the pitch, the things that you want to see from a Liverpool wingback. And dare I say, could he push Trent into midfield, right? And Klopp feel that Conor is good enough and he's comfortable enough of putting him in there full time so that Trent can start using a lot of his gifts and abilities and almost be like an Andrea Pirlo for us, right? So that's something that could be coming down the pipeline. I think that's a good move in the future, but I think Klopp really likes the fact that he can almost overrun the midfield with Trent coming in off that right-hand side, and it almost becomes a 4-person midfield versus a 3-person midfield, which won't happen if you play with a more traditional right back like Conor Bradley, right? So second shout out, Joe Gomez is what I've been seeing him being called, Joe Gomez. He keeps showing up. I mean, game after game, it looks like he's about to score his first goal. And a lot of people, I keep reading online, a lot of people keep saying, Joe Gomez is finally back, right? I wrote him off, and I'm just like, when did he leave? When did he put in a string of games? I was just like, okay, yeah, Joe Gomez is finished. He's washed. I don't think that ever really happened for him. It was like this narrative that kind of just kept getting thrown around amongst Liverpool fans that him and Joe Matip were like washed and like we needed better center backs. I always thought they were great backup choices and they could be starting in any other team. Seriously. And now Konate is coming into his own. I mean, we have really great options going in the back, especially with Kwanzaa in there. I can see why Jurgen Klopp, who's with these guys every single day, mind you, doesn't think we need another center back because he feels that we have the cover for it. And I'm starting to believe it, right? I saw a lot of Virgil van Dijk slander online, and I wasn't super happy with it. A lot of people were blaming him for that goal, but you got to understand, team errors happen. And that's exactly what that was. And could he have headed it away from danger? Sure. But if you've ever played, not even professionally, maybe you played as a kid or anything like that, when the ball is flying around and there's a bunch of people around you, sometimes you're not thinking about those things. And you're just trying to get a head on the ball or a foot on the ball to try to stop the advancing player coming in. And it's just like, yeah, but the fundamentals headed away from your goal. I get that. But there was also a good amount of his own teammates in the middle where I'm assuming he was thinking would at least been able to get a head on it or a boot on it to clear it. He didn't think it was going to fall to Willian, right? There was a lot of people that were coming after Callagher because he got beat in his near post. I mean, Willian was freaking dancing his way through that whole thing. It was a bad team error, but I'm not blaming that on anyone specifically. Virgil van Dijk, VVD, has been excellent for us this season. And we just can't forget that we have one of the best defensive records in the league. He has personally one of the best defensive records in the league. So we can't get on top of him for just one mistake. And that's something that Liverpool fans, I think we need to stop doing, is like getting on top of our players for just one mistake. Like we're expecting them to be perfect. They actually have been, if you really think about it. To go unbeaten for this long, they have been playing like probably some of the best football of their careers. Is it as pretty as that one time, as the time when we won the Champions League and we won the league? No, it's not as pretty, but it's more effective, right? Last shout out for Liverpool, Cody Gakpo. So this man shows up when I've been noticing that when he's not hamstrung by Mohamed Salah. And I thought this was really interesting because I personally thought it was Nunez, the rival Nunez, that kind of stunt a lot of Gakpo's growth. Because I mean, I remember when we bought him, he was like on 40 goals and assists when we bought him, which was like level with MBAPPE at the time or something like that, something crazy. So I thought we were going to get an MBAPPE, right? And then he came in and that production kind of slowed down. But I've been noticing that it's actually not Darwin or Jota or Diaz. I've noticed when he plays with Mo, I feel like this is the case with a lot of the Liverpool players. And obviously it's been working, so what do I know? But I feel like the goal in the attack is always either put it through Mo or put it through Trent to make something happen. So like every time we get on a counter attack and we're running into space, they're looking for Mo, always. And I feel like that really isn't Gakpo's style. I think he's a more aggressive type of player, and he should play more aggressive, take more shots, take more people on. He's an excellent dribbler. And I think we can see the best from Cody if he can incorporate that now, especially with Mo gone, and of course when Mo comes back. There's one player on Fulham's team that I do want to shout out before we get to my words about Klopp. It's Antonee Robinson. This kid can ball, man. I've been hearing a lot of things about Antonee Robinson, actually, because he's been linked with Liverpool a few times over this transfer window. I didn't know he was American. I also did not know that he went through Everton's youth system. So he has like almost like a Scouser accent. But this kid is athletic. His pace is, I saw him do a full sprint down the touch line to get a ball, and he just completely blew past. I'm trying to remember who's on that. Conor Bradley. Yeah, Conor Bradley on that left-hand side. It was almost like Conor was moving in slow motion. When he opened his legs up and just went, it's like crazy. And I guess they call him Jedi because that was like the nickname he chose when he was in youth soccer, but can do flips and all of this crazy. He has a lot of bunch of weird hidden talents, but just a naturally athletic kid. And for me, he was Fulham's best player today and was close for me to being the best player on the pitch, pretty close. His reading of the game, him being able to anticipate passes is like second to none. Because I remember seeing the stat before this game, and I wanted to see if I could see it, if it was a visible stat. Because you know how like there's some stats that are like, oh, I didn't even know he did that. I didn't even notice that about his game. For some players, right? And then there's some stats that are just like, yeah, that's pretty obvious that he does that. Interceptions is one of those things that's just like that can kind of go unnoticed. So I was paying attention to that, and this kid has 52 interceptions for the entire season for the Premier League. The closest person to him is James Tarkowski in Everton. I guess it's an Everton thing, right? Everton boys. It's 35. So he has 52 interceptions, and the closest person to him has 35. His intelligence, where he can project the ball where it's going, that's stuff that you can't teach, and any manager would want that in his side. The only thing for him is that, like, I don't know if his window is kind of gone. He's 26 years old, right? He's turning 27 this year. So he's not young, right? But he's not old. And would he want to make a move to a bigger club and essentially be a backup if he moved to Liverpool for Andy Robertson, who is not that much older than him? So maybe he could be a long-term successor, or maybe like a stopgap successor to Andy Robertson. But it'd be interesting to see what happens with him in the future, because I think he has a lot of potential. But he plays for America, which is really cool. So we'll get to see him in the World Cup, really do his thing. But interesting player. I really like his game. I'd love to see him really hone into the attacking side of things, but obviously defensively, he's a diamond, right? So lastly, talk about the coach, Jurgen Klopp. Another display on why he's the best. Subs made the difference. Bringing on Darwin, bringing on Gakpo, changed the game. And that's really has been the defining factor for the past handful of games for Liverpool. Is Klopp being able to adjust, figuring out who needs to come on, who needs to come off at the right times, and making a difference and making an impact in the game with his decision-making and his substitutions and his tactics. I think they have improved dramatically. I think there was a lot of times in the previous season, it's just like, well, why didn't we bring this guy on sooner? Or why did this guy not start? I think Klopp and Pep have been learning from those things. Pep Linders, not Pep Guardiola, have been learning from that. And I think they've been a lot smarter and a lot tactical and a lot more aggressive with their substitutions this season, and it's paying off. So great result for Liverpool. Really excited for that next leg. and it seems like it's going to be a really, really good tie. So let me know what you guys think. Who was your man of the match? Who should I have given a shout out to that didn't get a shout out? But I appreciate you all, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.